Hello everybody, my name is Doomfish, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make a drowned farm in Minecraft. This is a pretty small scale one that I built here. It can be bigger or smaller, whatever fits your needs. And all it is a river biome down below, and some water flowing down from the build limit up there, all the way down, and some fence gates to catch the water, and then another water collection system for the drowned, and as you can see, we have a killing chamber right down here, where we can just go ahead and use a looting sword and kill these guys right here. Now, you could use a mechanism to automatically kill them yourself, or not with a sword. The reason why we do it with a sword is because it allows you to use the looting enchantment. Now, for most farms, this wouldn't be a big deal, but since the drown drop rate for Tridents is so low, it's basically needed. You can see, we get the drops in these chests, and getting a Trident is very rare, but this is pretty much the fastest way to do it. And yeah, let's show you what you're going to need to build this farm. So here's what you're going to need to build the farm. You'll need around 2 stacks of fence gates or signs. This could scale, and again, they can be either fence gates or signs, doesn't really matter. And then you'll need around 9 stacks of glass, 9 stacks of slabs, 2 water buckets, or just a source of water. Again, you'll be doing this over a river biome, so it's pretty easy to get your water. You'll need a looting sword, and I would also recommend sweeping edge, just to make your life easier. Around a stack of grindstones, 3 stacks of scaffolding, 6 honey blocks, 6 hoppers, and 4 chests. So one of the more important things about this farm is the location of it. So since you want to be over a river biome, if you look at our example here, we sort of map the river biome that is down below up here. So we use our F3 screen, we look, and we see where the river biome is. The easiest place to do this is the place with the most river down below, so you can look at the water. And the best place is in these bends in the river. So if you find a place like this, which is just a really big pool of water, then this will do pretty well for you. Now, the first step is to go right up next to the water. You can use your F3 screen and make sure you are not in the river biome, but just outside of it. And we'll go ahead and place down our scaffolding until we get to the build limit. And there we go. You can see, get a message, height limit for building is 256 blocks. If we look up, we can see all the way up to the very tippy top there, we get our scaffolding. So now you'll just need to go ahead and climb to the top of this. And here we are, Y 256. And now what we're going to want to do is just head down a couple of blocks here. And very carefully, we want to place 1 block below this building limit of glass right here. That comes for probably the most difficult part, and this part will vary depending on your location, but we're going to bring up the debug screen, and we're going to want to sort of encase a river area. So as you can see, if I stand on this block, I am in the Minecraft Plains biome if you look in the lower left-hand side, but if I move to the right here, I am in the river biome. So we want to go ahead and place our glass all along the river biome so that our glass isn't actually in the river biome, but next to it. So I can sort of do this by heading to the edge of the block while crouching, and you'll see that it says plains here, but if we go over here, it says river. As you can go 1 more in, we head out, it says river, it says plains this way, and we can sort of just probe out an area here. Now we can also, if you don't want to use F3, we can map the area of water down there, and that'll be just fine. You will get a little less area, and it might be a little bit less precise, but it will just work fine. For now, I'll sort of show you the example of what it looks like when you're done. And there we go. Here's the outline that I've made. And what you notice is that from our example over on the left here, this one is a little bit bigger. And you can make this even bigger if you wanted. But this will serve for an example. So we can sort of see looking down that it sort of maps the shape. And all of these glass blocks, again, are where both the taiga on this side and the plains on that side are, and all the space in the middle is the true river biome. And so this is where our water is going to go. So next up, what we're going to do is cover this whole thing in slabs. So slabs on the bottom block here, you can go around covering the outside first, and then cover the inside. And you also need to cover a little bit beyond that point, but I'll show you what to do when you get there. And there we go. This entire river area has been covered up. Now, the point of this is to A, make a spawn-proof roof, and to B, darken up this area underneath here. So you can look at the light level, it's 7 in the darkest spot, 6 or it even goes down to 5 in some spots, but towards the edges, we're up to all the way to 13. Now, we want the entire area under here to be 7 or less. And so what we need to do is sort of expand out this roof in every direction. So the way I'd recommend doing this is heading to some of the corners, like this area right here, heading about 5 slabs in this direction and 5 slabs in the other direction, and just filling in like a 5 slab like lip on the edge, if you will. It doesn't really matter how you do it in specifics. All that matters is that the area on the inside is at light level 7 or below. Alright, so I just finished placing a ton of slabs here, as you can see, and this should get our area dark enough. Now, this is definitely a big undertaking, but this is pretty much the most difficult part of the project. Now what I have to do is sort of run along the sides here and see any spot where the light level is 7 or higher. Like around this region it is, and we're just going to place a couple more slabs just to make sure everything is going to function at its peak efficiency. Alright, so now that I've gone and checked and made sure every single block is underneath Y level 7, or 7 or below rather, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is put a temporary floor under this thing right here, just so we can place in our water here and make sure that it's all water sources. It's going to be a little difficult. I would just recommend getting as high as you can and then just building out, like if, for example, if you're in survival mode, just building out like underneath here, and you can make the floor a little bit deeper. Again, it's all temporary, just so we can place our water in. Alright, so I've covered the whole floor in glass except for one block, and in this block right here, what I'm going to do is grab my water bucket, and I'm going to place it on the side here, let it flow down, and this way you can go ahead, it's a little difficult, but go ahead, press shift, enter swim mode, or control, whatever you use to sprint, and we can block this up. Now what you're going to want to do is I would place water on all of the corner blocks here. You can set up an infinite water source in here, whatever you need to do. I'm just spamming right click, and that way all of the water will flow and create new sources, and once you're done, this whole area should be one giant water source. There we go, we're all finished. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is cover this up, get out of here, and we're gonna break the floor that we placed temporarily. There we go, I believe that's all the water. Now I'm just gonna go a quick swim around here and make sure we didn't miss any of the glass blocks. There we go. And we can see that we're already getting some spawns, and we haven't even built our collection system yet. Now what we're going to do is head down to about y equals 208. And so that's about here. Doesn't have to be exactly right. And what we're going to do is place some glass blocks right next to our water here. So what I'm going to do is basically just at this altitude, y208, go all the way around on the edge of our falling water here. Now what you're going to want to do is go ahead and grab some fence gates and place them along this glass right here. And when you place them, you can also open them, or you can place signs, and that way you won't have to open them. I just like fence gates because they are a little more uniform and easier to place. And there we go, all of our fence gates have been placed and opened, and you'll see that some of the water seeps off the edges here. And to fix that, all you need to do is double layer our glass up on the top here. Next up, we need to make a rectangle underneath our farm here. And this is going to look different no matter what farm you have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to this corner because I know that this is the furthest it comes out on this direction and this direction. And what I'm going to do is head to this corner right here. And we're going to leave a block of space right here. So if there was a block here, we would place our block here. We're going to head down about 2 blocks here. And we're going to make a 2 tall little glass thing right here, so that we leave a space of 2 blocks vertically between this and this. It's a little confusing, but then what we're going to do is we're going to go and head out to the side here. And so I've built out all the way to the side until I'm aligned with this, and then I'm going to go 2 further, like so, and then we're going to head out the back until we're aligned with our other side. There we go. It's kind of hard to see, but we should be aligned with that glass block right there. So we can go 1 further, and we're going to interrupt with our scaffolding on this side. But that is just okay, because we can break these top pieces of scaffolding, like so. They'll all come down. Some of them will go in the water streams, that's alright. Some of them will land here. It's all good. You can pick those up or leave them, doesn't really matter. I mean, depends on how useful scaffolding is to you. And then we're going to align with this side, and we're going to complete our rectangle. Alright, now the rectangle is complete. We're going to build it up 1 higher. Now what you're going to want to go ahead and do is we're going to place down 7 blocks this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the way across here. And now we're going to go ahead and make our water collection system for these mobs. So we're going to do that. We're just going to keep on going down in a pattern of 7 blocks here. Like so. All the way to the end. And again, this will be different for you. on whatever size of build you're doing. But I'm just placing down all of these blocks until we reach the end. So there we go. 7 lines of blocks, or 7 block lines. Actually, it says coincidentally 7 blocks, or 7 lines of blocks as well. And we're going to build this all the way across the open space. So just for each of these blocks, place them right the way along down the line. And there we go. Should look something like that. Now this is a ton of glass for sure. And that's why I said the amount varies, because this is a pretty good sized farm, and it'll produce a lot of ground, as you can see. Next up, we need to head to these open sides where these slants are, and we're just going to go ahead and fill in the wall where there is a gap. And there we go. Once we have these walls in, what I'm going to go ahead and do is expand this last one out one more so it's 8, and that way the water will not flow off the edge, and it'll just push whatever's on it off the edge. And then, of course, build up your walls as well. Now what you want to do is head to either the left or right side. I'm just going to head to the left here. We're going to head down 2 blocks, leaving space here. And we're going to head out 7 this way. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And do the same thing we did for the top part. We're just going to keep on going until we reach the end here. And now that we're at the end, what we're going to do is go ahead and fill in some more walls. On this back side, we're just going to head up to about this layer. This should be good enough. You might want to go one more. We're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to do the same thing on this back side as well. Alright, now that our walls are in place, what you can do is head down to the bottom of this canal right here and place our water bucket. And if you've done it correctly, it should flow all the way to the end here, and it should even flow off the edge here. Now what you're going to want to go ahead and do is place down a fence gate underneath this, open it up, and we're going to build in our chamber here. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and build in some of these grindstones, and we're going to place down 2 of them. So to do that, we're going to also need some glass on this side, and we'll place them like that. And we'll also need some glass on this side so we can place them like this. Now we need to continue this down with the Now we need to continue this pattern with the grindstones and the glass pillars all the way down to y equals 190. Now the thing is, since we spent so much vertical distance getting this area done, we're basically already at y equals 190. So let's continue this out about 2 or 3 more blocks, like so. And we're going to go ahead and place in our grindstones as well, all the way down. And again, you might have to do this more if your farm is smaller, but in general, a smaller farm does mean less resources used. And then we're going to go ahead and cover this tunnel up, just like so. And we're going to do the same thing around here. Now you will have to be careful that since we are out of the water, we don't want our drowns to burn up, and so that's easy enough. All we have to do is just place in some slabs up here, or some solid blocks, but you might get some spawns up here if you use solid blocks, so I wouldn't recommend it. Also, on the ends of our grindstones here, we're going to want to place some glass here, just to make sure nothing can get out, no drops, nothing like that. And when that's done, we're going to place down our honey underneath these blocks, just 6 blocks like so. And then we can place a block underneath the honey, and this is going to be our base for our killing chamber. And so to do this, we're just going to go ahead and build a couple blocks out like this. Doesn't have to be anything special. I'm just going to make a 5x5 pad up here. And there we go. Now we can just break these blocks. And I would also recommend replacing some of these with slabs. I'm going to place some slabs here and some slabs here. And we can still perfectly hit their feet just fine if I grab my sword. Just like so. And now we just want to be able to get all the drops into hoppers. To do that, we're going to go ahead and place down, we're going to break these 2 blocks right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab chests right here. We're going to place them in the ground like so. And then we're going to place some hoppers going into them. So 1 hopper coming out of the back, then another one coming into that hopper, and then one of these hoppers goes in this one of the hoppers goes in the other chest. So half the drops go in each of these chests. And now the last step, which I did say for last on purpose, is to fill in all of this water so that we get all the drowns in one spot. They've just been piling up here, and so we're just going to put some water on the back here. And what we should see is that all of the drown will get funneled into our killing chamber. And there we go. You'll see, usually you wouldn't have this many at once, but we've got such a build-up here that they're all just going to start flowing in. And so I would definitely recommend killing them early because they are going to pile up. And you can see that we might even get a Trident here, even though it's very rare. Since a lot of these guys do have Tridents, and we do have such a stockpile, and we have the looting 3 sword, we might see a Trident drop. And there we go. They've just all died. And you can see we got a ton of rotten flesh already, and we did actually get a Trident, so look at that. This farm is very functional. As you can see, we're already getting a ton of these guys in, and this can get up to maybe like 100 drowned maybe like 1,000 round per hour, depending on how big you build this thing. But this is a pretty large build, probably larger than you need. But either way, you will have to AFK here for a while to get your drops, and so you can just set up an auto clicker. You can sort of crouch, and even if you want to, you can create a little gap right here, slide under it, and go ahead and just stay crouched here while you kill these guys. And you can do this perfectly AFK. So there you have it, AFK Drown Farm. And again, this one, I just want to reiterate this, is probably bigger than what you're going to need. This took a while to make, and I would not recommend this unless you want a lot of Tridents. If you just want one, a smaller design will work best for you. So if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, and you can subscribe for more content just like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.